Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with the Beth Israel Rabbi. This past week, we witnessed disturbing events in Canada. We saw the purposeful chalking of words of hatred around Douglas Park geared towards the Jewish community, specifically in an area where we know there's a large Jewish population. We saw the torching of a bus in Toronto of a Jewish day school, and south of our border in Pittsburgh, we saw hurtful and hateful words spray painted on the Jewish Federation of Pittsburgh. Words that said, "Love Jews, but hate Zionists." The reality is, and we all know, that Zionists and Jews are tied together because Zion and the Jewish people are indeed tied together. And the vast majority of all Jews who live in North America are, like me, proud Zionists because we believe in the Jewish people's right to freedom and independence and the Jewish homeland. And we thank God that we were able to return home for the first time after nearly 2,000 years in 1948 to Israel. It is impossible to love Jews and hate Zionists. In fact, this is part and parcel of a greater anti-Semitic campaign against the Jewish people that began on October 7th. And let there be no mistake made about it. When you say, hate Zionists and love Jews, that is simply a lie. What you are really saying is hate all Jews. This week, we read the last two Torah portions of the book of Bamidbar, Matot Maseh. And in this Torah portion, the Gadites and the Reubenites ask Moses if it is okay for them to stay on the other side of the Jordan while the rest of the Israelites cross into the land of Israel. And their promise to Moses is that if they stay on the other side of the Jordan and they settle and they reside there, as the Israelites are returning back home to the land of Israel after having wandered in the desert for 40 years, and after having been slaves in Egypt for hundreds of years, they ask if it is okay for them to, and essentially, live outside of Israel, just right over the border. But they promise to support Israel. They promise to support the Jewish people with everything that they have. They promise to continue to remain part of the Jewish people. Literally for thousands of years, we as a Jewish people have been centered in the land of Israel. But we have had Jewish populations outside of our homeland. And as Moses then says in this week's Parsha, yes, that is okay. I accept your promise. I accept your plan. We too understand that we are connected at the hip to our brothers and sisters in Israel. And as terrible things happen to the Jewish people, wherever it is, whether if it is outside of the land of Israel or in the land of Israel, if it is in the diaspora or in Israel itself, we are connected to one another. We must be there for one another, caring about what happens to each other, whether if it is in Israel or here in Canada, in the United States, or wherever it is in the world. This coming High Holidays is a special High Holidays because this past year, 5784, has been honestly one of the worst years that we have faced as a Jewish people since the Holocaust. And we are dedicated to supporting and to being there for one another. I'm going to invite you to come for our Slichot program and service on September 28th as we welcome Thomas Hand, as I will be speaking with him, and he's going to come with his daughter, but I'm going to be speaking with Thomas Hand on Slichot night, asking him about the moral and the complex issues that he faced while his daughter was in Gaza. And we're going to be discussing really difficult things, and Thomas is a wonderful man. I'm also going to ask you, encourage you to come on Yom Kippur when we learn with Tal Schneider, as she teaches us about what is happening in Israel at the moment, the political, geopolitical situation. I look forward to seeing you. Please sign up for Slichot. Please sign up as well for the Sudat Shlishit that will precede it, the Slichot service and program. We look forward to also, of course, celebrating the Slichot service with Harley Rothstein and our own Ba'alat Tefillah, Debbie Fenson. Shabbat Shalom.